Consultant and leader of his party.
Hey, Mr. Speaker, I appreciate the opportunity to rise to speak on second reading to Bill 30, an act respecting certain responsibilities of the Integrity Commissioner and the Ombud. The Integrity Commissioner and the Ombud, Mr. Speaker, are legislative officers of this legislative assembly, not officers of the executive branch of government. And this is something that really bothers me. The Premier gave his word that he was going to ensure that authority returned to the legislature that had seeped over to the executive branch of government over the years. And here we have the executive branch of government bringing forward a bill without consultation of the legislature on changing the roles, once again, of our legislative officers. Mr. Speaker, the last time we looked at changing the roles, at least the Legislative Administration Committee initiated a review and brought on someone to do that review and report back to it on their suggestions about how we might change and increase the effectiveness of legislative officers in our province. But, Mr. Speaker, here we have a bill, Bill 30, which did none of this. This isn't something that came as a result of a discussion and recommendations from the Standing Committee on Procedures, Privileges, and Legislative Officers, nor did it come as a result of discussion at the Legislative Administration Committee and recommendations from there. This came out of the executive branch's actions, and it seems to me that's entirely inappropriate. If the Premier is true to his word that he wants to see authority that has over the years been usurped by the executive branch returned to this legislative assembly. So this causes me great concern. They're clearly, for example, Mr. Speaker, the workload for the Right to Information Commissioner, which we don't have anymore, but the workload in that area is immense, and it's been growing, and the waiting period has extended apace. So people are waiting longer and longer and longer for investigations to be carried out when they approach the Commissioner. And in my opinion, the appropriate thing, for example, and this could have been part of the debate we would have had in one of our standing committees, is that the role of the Right to Information Commissioner be reinstated. This bill passes those responsibilities where they shouldn't have gone, which was the Integrity Commissioner, over to the Ombud, who is already swamped, where the waiting times are very long for investigations, where I don't know how the Ombud is going to, I mean, he's immortal, he's not superhuman, where he's going to be able to manage this tremendous addition to his responsibilities by giving him responsibilities for a right to information and the privacy legislation, Mr. Speaker. So that causes me concern. The move to act on some of the recommendations of Judge Duchesne for the Integrity Commissioner certainly makes sense, but you know, the appropriate thing that should have happened is his recommendations should have been reviewed by the appropriate standing committee of this legislative assembly as a legislative officer making recommendations to this legislature to be examined by a standing committee of this legislature to make recommendations out to government if legislative change was necessary. So, Mr. Speaker, that reflects my concerns about the process that has led to Bill 30, and I will have obviously lots of questions and perhaps some amendments for this bill when it gets to committee stage. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.